The time has come for bad things to end. The time has come for life to begin. The time has come for the war of the world.
It's that time.
We're back with DJ from the Do Dirty Show. Jumping right back into our interview here. Do you think that hip-hop culture ignores the whole HIV epidemic?
Completely. Actually, the whole hip-hop culture didn't even deal with it. I don't know the last song I heard that had anything to do with HIV other than Waterfalls from TLC. And well, there was a couple of underground groups that I've heard deal with it, but it's not, not the pop hip-hop we have now. They seem to step away from that. Although they talk about sex, but then we talk about the ramifications of sex. And,
How does being positive affect your social life?
it really doesn't. I think the only time it really starts to affect you is when you want to become intimate with someone. I bring it up. It's just so that there's something that they know about. Right. If we're sharing stuff, they know that I'm very positive. But when I was at work, I didn't mention it at all because it was something that never came up until the guys were talking about it. These are heterosexual guys, and we're just sitting around talking about how that's AIDS, and I was like, listen, it's not AIDS, okay, it's HIV. And I know because I'm HIV positive, and at that time I was 13 years, and they were like, wow, and they said something real. I'm gonna say ignorant, because they said basically, oh, you're the first person I know that's HIV positive. I was like, no. Right, so it's be positive. They said, I told you, right? It's not something that people feel comfortable even saying out loud. Right. We're talking about these with friends. So you can imagine family members or with, loved ones even, I think it's the hardest with someone that you want to get to. Okay. Because it's the rejection.
Okay. So how soon after you start dating someone do you tell them? Or do you tell them?
So me personally?
Yeah.
I tell them from the get-go.
Yeah.
Get it all out the way.
So I'd rather first meet them.
Yes, I'd rather tell you right now. So if you don't want to deal with the dirty blood, as they call it, then you can keep it moving. I don't invest in time.
Okay.
I think it's almost a mistake not to say it in the beginning, because you start to invest time, and it becomes something that you're holding back. That person usually interprets it as a secret, something. Yeah. What are you hiding? And you're like, well, it's not like what they're thinking. But it's still something that's serious enough that they have to know. You gotta tell them before you have sex with them anyway. That's just, you don't have to, but I think that's the best, to feel best about yourself if you say something before you have, sex with them. Okay. But I just get it off. I said it on my pages when I used to be on, Black Gay Chats, to put it on my page. Okay. That way it's just easier, and it just narrows down the amount of bullshit you have to go through. Okay. It's just a rejection thing. I'm not good at rejection. And I know most gay men are not good with rejection. Right. That stems to the crystal meth, which stems to another issue.
The time has come for bad.
So when you're searching for a partner, would you prefer to meet someone who's positive or negative?
Like after being positive, I did want to do something positive because it just would have been easier. Okay. But now I'm a little older, I found somebody, that I like because I like them. I love them because I love them. Not because they're positive or negative. That should be the deciding, one of the deciding factors in being with something. Okay. But I do believe a lot of gay men who are positive settle in relationships with people who are positive just because it's just easier. Okay. And then there's the whole barebacking situation and reinfection and other issues that couples are dealing with that are HIV positive and being HIV positive. You feel that you're allowed to, well, you got the worst that it is. What else can you get? Okay. You know what I'm saying? What else could you possibly get? You can get a lot of things. You get syphilis and gonorrhea, which your immune system is already weakened, and then that on top of it doesn't help. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or even herpes. So it's like, I think it's just a dangerous relationship. Sometimes when both people are positive because they will both engage in disruptive behavior.
Okay.
Where if you're in a positive negative relationship, you're mindful of that. You're the one that infects your partner. Even if they want, they're like, wow, I know it's okay. You still will wear the condom. You still will go through that extra caution. Right. So that you won't affect them. And when you boil it down, it's all unsafe. Right. And that needs to be said. It's all unsafe. We need to be realistic and know that kids, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, you don't think about all that. Right. You go for what's the least amount that's not gonna, so you'll pull out. Or you won't swallow, So, I mean, you have to be realistic. I think you have to give kids or youth the opportunity to make their own decisions.
Now, who do you identify as role models? Are there other black gay men that you look to for advice or guidance?
But if I don't say Magic Johnson, I feel like an idiot. Like, I don't know, I mean, he's done it. I mean, he's lived, he got it basically almost the same time I got it. Okay. And I think he was sort of a role model, but a silent role model. He's the kind of role model that I would want to be, where you're a role model because you're doing it. I mean, he's out there giving opportunities to African Americans in Harlem. He's built back. He's been a part of building back Harlem, and he's been a good part of building back Compton. I heard he's done a lot of stuff out there. He's done a lot of stuff for charity and middle class families, and that's him doing that and being positive and still living and still looking good. Okay. That's what role models are. Then in that case, he is a role model. He's probably the only role model that I know of. And it's only because of I know of. Right. Again, it's still young that people are coming out, even being able to say that they're positive in public, nonetheless anything else. I mean, some people even say that they know they're positive, but they would never be on a poster. Right. I'm an actor. Would I be on a poster that's HIV positive? That's a whole different level. That's like letting everyone know first that you're positive. Right. So there's different levels of people revealing that, and so that's why I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I'd like to know more. Okay. And I think me saying it out loud and me constantly saying it out loud, and constantly letting people know I'm positive, I'm healthy. I'm normal and I'm a regular human being. I make mistakes, but I'm still, taking care of myself and I'm just doing it. And the more people see that, then the more they're like, oh, you know what, I am too, and I'm doing it too. I mean, even if it's something like I'm going to all my classes, or got my graduate degree, that's something, which, believe it or not, 5-10 years ago, this was a death sentence. When I got it, it was still part of the whole, everyone was falling off like flies. Right. And I think it didn't affect me because I didn't see anyone dying of it. Then when I had my ex and he was in jail and he was dying of it, that's when I guess going back to one of your earlier questions, that's when it really hit me. Okay. That, the mortality that HIV has compared to what my own mortality is, just as a normal human being. So it's I'd like to know more people who are positive, who are role models, and maybe be one of the first. Okay.
The time has come.
During the 14 years that you've been infected, have you had moments where you've considered suicide?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely yes, and the minute I think about it, it goes right out of my head. The only time I really contemplated suicide was when I was just stupidly high on cocaine. And I think it only because it magnified a feeling at that time that I wanted to kill myself. Okay. And I think I was doing it anyway when I was taking that drug and being in the type of relationship I was in. I think I was just doing it the slow way, which a lot of HIV positive people do. A lot of HIV positive people turn to drugs, they say, well, come on, what the fuck, or emotion. It's just so, you have the tendency to want to give up a lot, and the only thing that usually keeps you going is either a family member, something that you have some personal drive, but unless you really have people around you who are, even halfway concerned about it, then it's just tough. You think about giving up a lot.
Multi-million plans, so call yourself whatever you want, except the multi-million man, nigga.
Listen.